of these people in my life acting berserk. I'm feeling all pissed off and hurt. I need to know if I am the jerk. Oh, am I the jerk? Oh.
Okay, this person want to know if they're a jerk for doxing their waitress. It says, my husband, our 11-year-old daughter, and I went out to eat. Our daughter ordered an appetizer, a burger, and later wanted cheesecake. And the waitress looked at her and said, haven't you eaten enough? I don't think you need cheesecake.
Damn.
She did not.
You don't want the boys thinking you're a pig.
Oh, my gosh.
My daughter was mortified. We paid and left without tipping. We also left a negative review naming the waitress directly. Yes, we also went on social media and doxed this woman. Nobody speaks to my child that way. Some of my close friends say that we went nuclear and crossed a line by doxing her. I still feel like she crossed a far worse line than my child did, or than far worse one with my child. Was this justified, or did we overreact out of anger?
I talked over you. Did you say that the waitress said something about the boys calling her like a piggy or something?
Yeah, she said, you don't want the boys thinking you're a pig.
Oh.
That is so out of bounds, man.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of tip you think you're going to get after that?
Well, yeah, when you say something like that, you just need to be prepared for whatever bad stuff happens to you afterwards.
Yeah.
Maybe don't talk like that. And why would any server ever discourage people from ordering more food? You get a percentage. That's what your tip is based on. Like, what are you an idiot?
So, who knows? Maybe they were high. Maybe they didn't know what... That's not the right way to go about it.
I don't know that I love the doxing thing. I think it's just added for extra attention. But look, that might be something where you might want to say something to a manager. If you like the restaurant, you care about them. Because if you have someone that's saying insulting things like that, that's so out of bounds that you would never do something like that. And honestly, most people would snap back right then and there. I mean, if somebody did that to one of our kids, I can only imagine what my wife is going to say to them. It's going to be, the whole restaurant's going to know what's up, and she's going to know pretty quick it wasn't the right thing to do.
That's how my mom was, too. Yeah. If someone ever tried to get in and try to parent us outside in the public, that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, I don't know that I like the doxing, but, you know, I am okay in that instance saying to the manager, saying, hey, look, you know, this is what your waitress said to us. And that could be affecting. If she's saying this to other people, first of all, you're going to make kids feel bad. And second of all, she's cutting you out of, she's not cut out for her job. She does not need to have that job.
She's undermining the restaurant, and she's selling less desserts.
Right.
Like, what are we here for?
Yeah.
I'm with you, though, the Kevin Ralston. I'm not a big fan of the whole doxing thing. I think that can really lead to some bad stuff eventually.
Well, look, people will do things that are completely out of line, but I think how you respond when they do, it's not to let them walk all over you, but I think that there's measured responses.
And there's also different forms of doxing. Now, there's going to Yelp, leaving a review. I wouldn't necessarily call that doxing. Now, there's also going on social media saying the lady's first name, middle name, and last, telling everyone where she lives at, getting her phone number out. Now, that's doxing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
I think it's just you're going to end up that's going to end badly eventually.
Yeah. So I don't know that I like the doxing part of it. I am okay with you saying something to a manager. That's fine. But yeah, I think it's a little, but we'll see where people are set. Because some people are saying, yeah, I mean, if you're ever going to dox somebody, this is somebody who deserved it.
Is doxing legal or illegal?
Well, now look, there's a couple things you're saying. I mean, when you're talking about doxing, are you giving away her address and her phone number, or are you just saying, I went to this restaurant and there was a waitress named Mabel that said something insulting to me?
That's a different level. I think if you give out the chick's address and phone number,
how
you're
they would
insane.
have that, I don't know. And
well, you can get that stuff.
Yeah,
that stuff's not hard to get.
You can absolutely get it. But I don't think that's how you should take this. Yeah. If you want to complain about the restaurant and her and tell everybody what she said, I'm fine with that. If you give out her address, that may be an area you shouldn't delve into.
Well, at that point now, I just think you're going down an area. How do you know she didn't have psycho people in her life? And they're putting our information out. You just start some kind of people are crazy, y'all.
Right.
Trust me when I tell you that. People are crazy out there.
Well, 61% of people said that she is not a jerk for doxing the waitress. 39% said she is. So The vote is you are not a jerk. Definitely the waitress is the jerk.
She's definitely the waitress is a jerk.
Yeah.
She should not be serving food and dealing with the public.
Right.
I don't think she gets it.
Now, Christy wanted to know if she was a jerk. She said, my son has his driver's permit, so I let him drive me to a store. There's a spot close to it, but it had a shopping cart in it. So I jump out, I move the cart so he can park, and there's no cart return nearby. So I moved the cart in between two parked cars where the bumper of a parking spot would be, between the hoods of the parked cars. I run into the store, do my errand, and as I was leaving, a lady in line asked me if I was going to return the cart to the store. I looked puzzled, and I said, well, that's not my cart. She said, I know, but you moved it. I said, yeah, I moved it in order to park. She said, I know, I'm just saying. I was kind of taken aback at the accusation. I said, okay. I just walked out of the store. Look, I am a cart returner for the record, but in this instance, I thought it was fair what I did. I moved the cart out of the way of anyone else. There was no risk the cart dinging somebody's vehicle or inhibiting anybody else from getting into their car or leaving the lot. My husband kind of disagrees with me and thinks maybe I was a jerk for not doing that. If I touch a cart, do I now own it?
Man, this cart thing it tears people apart, Virginia.
Why would I care what anybody else in the grocery store parking lot is doing with their cart? I don't notice. I don't care.
Yeah, I was at a place the other day. Now I returned my cart. Mm-hmm. There was nowhere to return the cart, really. I mean, the way the parking lot, it was so far from the store, so they're expecting people to park all the way down and then walk all the way back to the front of the store. Not everyone's going to do that.
No.
It's just there was no cart buggy area to put the cart.
Right.
So if you were bringing your groceries and you had to walk all the way back, it's going to take you 7 minutes. Mm-hmm. What do you do on that?
I mean, you know what I do.
You're going to leave that cart.
I'm going to leave that cart.
And then laugh.
And not care or think about it after I pull out of the parking lot.
So apparently, according to this other lady, she had to return the cart since she touched it.
That's crazy.
Well, then that means you'd be putting everyone's cart away eventually. Look, man, I have done a lot of research. I ask people all the time because this is such a hot topic. Majority of people say they like going out to get the carts because it gets them out of the store.
The workers,
yes.
Are retrieving the carts. They like being outside.
Now, with the carts hitting other cars, that's a different story. I see why people get mad at that. But everyone always goes, it's not fair for the person working who's getting paid to go get the cart. Well, I'm just telling you, a lot of people want to go get the cart.
Right.
Now, 90% of people are saying you're not a jerk for not returning this cart that wasn't yours, that someone else had left into the parking lot. But one person is saying, the cart's right there. You're heading into the store. Why didn't you just take it? Now, I think she was going into a store that wasn't the Publix, so that might be the answer. That's to say I was going to the UPS store, not to the Publix store.
The person who wrote that comment is also the person that said, oh, you forgot to give us homework today. We need homework.
I can't imagine ever saying anything to anybody in a parking lot or in the store about the cart. What? I wouldn't notice what you did with your cart because I'm too busy not putting my nose in everybody else's business.
I got hit up the other day at the parking lot at Walmart, and I saw the whole thing develop. I'm like, oh no. And he had a pad in his hand and wanted me to sign stuff about some law and some bill. And I'm like, oh man, I already signed it. And got in the car and drove away. He didn't believe me either. Go, so you signed this piece of paper right here? I go, yep,
sure did.
That's the one.
Okay. All right. Well, majority of people are saying that Christy is not a jerk.